As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized CIMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a CIMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the CIMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study exam. Start studying the CIMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact.
Good evening, professional colleagues, friends, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be your host today on another edition of ICAN on Air. Today, the 7th day of the 7th month in the year 2022, telling you about the double figure, double digit. And that is why we have brought a topic that is very peculiar to our profession, that all the people too needs to have understanding of. And today we will be talking on the topic audit regulation, what professional accountant should know. This was a mandate from the Financial Reporting Council Act 2021. And every one of us is expected to be acquainted with some of the things that are actually happening in the profession today. And I will be guesting no other person, a teacher par excellence, one of our mentors who have been mentoring the younger generation. No other person than Dr. Iai Anyara, PhD, FFAR, MNIM, and FCA. He is the head director of public sector accounting standard of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. He was the acting executive secretary and the chief, the executive secretary and the CEO of the Financial Reporting Council from March 1st, 2021 to May 18, 2021. He has about 3 decades industrial experience, of much which has been in financial reporting and management, accounting standard setting and committee of chart of account for Nigeria, as well as member of the IPSA gap analysis committee. He's a fellow of so many professional bodies, including our own noble profession, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, also a member of the Association of Forensic Accountant Researcher, AFA, a member of the Nigeria Institute of Management, NIM. He's a regular speaker. Let me just interest you, he's a teacher, not a lecturer. He has his first class honor and a master degree in accounting from the University of Unsika and Port Harcourt, respectively, and bagged his PhD from the Babcock University in Elisha, Ogun State. This evening, I will be guesting Dr. Iyaye Ayara, FCA, who will be talking to us on audit regulation, what professional accountants need to know. I'm sure you've got your pen and your paper very close to you because we will not be lecturing today. We will be teaching you to simplify what this regulation is all about. And I'm sure that will equip us more as professional and also as friend of our noble profession. We'll be going on a very short break. And well, I will be back. I will be guesting our guest for today. See you very shortly. Welcome back, and it's my pleasure to have with me on the Thursday episode of the ICAN on Air, no other person than Dr. Iyaye Ayara, FCA, someone I will always regard to as my mentor. Doctor, good evening and pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you very much, and it's my pleasure to be amongst my colleagues, and especially the one being anchored by Lisa Son, my very good friend. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to once more enlighten my colleagues on these other regulations. Before you start, let me appreciate my great institute for the doggedness in enlightening the members on these other regulations. Since the audit regulations came into being, the Institute has continuously enlightened members on the audit regulations. I sincerely appreciate this, and on behalf of the council, I say thank you very much.
Oh, thank you too to you, Doctor. You can say that about our great institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. We are known to equip and educate our members. Not only on this is show that we have every Tuesday and Thursday, and it's all about educating our members on the things that they need to know. Let's go straight to the business of today, my doctor. Sir, I can allude to this. Your colleagues, mentees like us, call and describe you as teacher, not a lecturer, because of the way you simplify things. As a matter of fact, I was under your tutelage years back in one of the districts when you came to discuss this thing when it started years back. Please, sir, can you educate our viewers, our listeners? What is audit regulation?
Thank you. Other regulation by now should be a household name, and I think the concept is something everybody will know. But let me start again by appreciating all the people on this platform. I see it as an investment towards getting to do the right thing at the right time. And before we go straight into talking about the other regulation, you will agree with me, Sean, that the equity and credit markets amongst the most efficient markets the world over. But particularly economically developed countries thrive on efficient operation of these markets. And how do they thrive on it? They depend solely on credible financial information. And who are the people who ensure credible financial information? Of course, any financial information that does not have the attestation, the opinion of auditors, such information will not be taken to be credible. And in order to give trust to this credible information, the Financial Reporting Council, in line with the Act establishing it, especially Section 61, that gives the Council the statutory power to inspect um, accounting firms that have more than 20 public interest entities, that the Council should inspect them on an annual basis, while those with less than 20 public interest entities should be inspected every 3 years. The Council therefore decided to put in place what I will call rules guidelines to enable both the inspectees and inspectors to be guided on how the inspection, how to carry out audit work, and in that aspect, the audit regulation was battered, and of course, as you all know, it wasn't just a thought by the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. It was actually done by the stakeholders, because I can precisely tell you on October 18, 2018, the council set up a 14-man, what we call audit regulation working group, to put in place requirements for carrying out audit of public interest entities. And that includes what is expected of an auditor, how an auditor can register with FRC, how auditor can be sanctioned, how auditor is expected to be independent, and of course, I'll be using the word auditor. Remember that the law talks about those professionals engaged in financial reporting processes. I want to state at the issue that the audit regulation is not just only meant for auditors, it's meant for other service providers who are professionals that are engaged in financial reporting process. Remember, we have layers. We have the law, we have the regulation, we have the rules, we have others. So we view our strength from the Financial Reporting Council Act of number 6 of 2011, like I said, especially section 61. If you want to see section 26 A to H, and also section 73 of the Financial Reporting Council Act, that gave us the base to put into place what every registered auditor should know in carrying out his or her responsibilities. Thank you, sir.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, you just said it all, that it's important for everyone who is out there, the stakeholders, to have a credible financial information. And this only can be attested to by auditors. But you've said it that the regulation is not only for the auditors, but for other layers who has one or two things to do about the financial preparation. Let me go straight to another question as we move on. That if you look at the duties that FRC is putting out, this seems to be conflicted. How does FRC intend to resolve conflicts between PAOs and itself? with respect to sanction as contained in the audit regulation, particularly ensuring that it does not result into multiple action on the professional.
Thank you very much, the anchor. Surprisingly to me, maybe the conflict is only the imagination of the anchor or the person that raised it. In FRC, we have not seen any conflicts because we are working collaboratively with professional accounting organizations. And to be very honest, we have to tell ourselves the simple truth. In all jurisdictions, let me cite instances. We have Financial Reporting Council of UK that oversights audit function. We have the Public Companies Accounting Oversight Board of US that oversights audit function. We have the Independent Regulatory Board of Audit in South Africa. They oversight audit function. And in all these jurisdictions, including Mauritius, they have professional accounting organizations. There is never a conflict between the function of a regulatory body and the professional accounting organization. However, what is expected is that the two work collaboratively to ensure that the profession called accounting thrives very well. There are specific responsibilities for each. Professional accounting organizations, of which I have the privilege of being a member of our great institute. I mean, it's clearly stated what their responsibilities and their roles are. And the regulator like FRC also have their roles and responsibilities clearly stated by the different laws establishing them. My distinguished audience, if anybody has the intent or the thinking that there is a conflict, I stand here to disabuse the person's mind. And moreover, if you look at our law, section 32 of our law empowers the council to enter into a memorandum of understanding with professional accounting organizations and regulatory bodies to carry out its responsibilities. I would wonder, and I've checked off, I've never seen where there is conflict, and I wouldn't want to go towards that line. It's collaboration, okay, sir. Thank you.
You said it right. You said, well, that might be an imagination, but you know, we are out there to clear and disabuse some of the things that our people must have conceived. And from your explanation, it's clear that both the FRC and the PAOs are expected to collaborate to make accounting profession the top notch that is expected of. Like we know, this is an interactive session, and our members, our viewers are expected to throw in questions at us. And I can see a question from Razak Abidemi. He is saying that the FRC Act and audit regulation does not clarify if all directors of a private company must register with FRCA. Some firms use their judgment on this. Sir, can you throw more light so that Razak can have better understanding on that question?
Thank you very much again, Razak. That's a very beautiful question. I think, and I put forward that the Act and the audit regulations are quite clear. I wouldn't subscribe that all directors know, because the Act specified that professional accountants, I think it's section 41, professional accountants and all other professionals engage in financial reporting process. So if you're a director of a company, you are not engaged in financial reporting process, you are not bound to register with FRS. But the question will be, In what capacity are you as a director? Aren't you actually approving financial report? It is incumbent on you to have this best of judgment to say, yes, my activity entails doing this. The act, like I said, in section 41 and section 42, made it clear that it's only those engaged in financial reporting process. So it will be overreaching if FRC says that all directors of private company, I don't think it is the spirit of the act and it's not the spirit of the audit regulation. Without sounding immodest, I participated in the process of batting the act and the audit regulation. We never felt it should be for all directors. The registration with FRC is clearly for those who are engaged in financial reporting process. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. You've just said it all. Section 41 and Section 42 spelled it out. That is for professional accountant and those that engage in financial reporting. So it doesn't cut across. So once you know you have things to do with financial reporting, then you must register. This will now take me, in conjunction with what we have been hearing. I want your own uh, opinion on the compliance level of this audit regulation in Nigeria. Is it high, average, low, or poor? Can you educate our members at least to have understanding since inception? You are part of the people that backed this act.
Thank you. I will excuse myself from being a judge in my own case, rating the performance either high, average, or low. But also, let all of us say, instead of actually looking at exact position, can I draw your mind back that audit regulation is just barely a year effective? In fact, it's not even up to a year, it's 7 months. Though it came into effect 25th January 2021, remember there was a transitional period to enable everybody get enlightened, to get everybody get acquainted. So effectively, the regulation came into being 2022 January. So wouldn't it be too premature, too early to try to assess whether it's high, low, and low? However, I want to tell you that from the responses and from the collaboration we are getting, I think you are making me tempted to mark myself. No, it is a process, and we are seeing green light in the process, and I think everybody is desirous to see it work. I think that would be my response rather than saying whether it's high or whether low. Exactly this program and other programs, like I started acknowledging the institute, are all geared towards making the audit regulation very effective. That would be my take on it. Thank you.
I think, you've just put a clarity to some of these things to let us know that there was a transition period, which was when that act was given back to. And the effective date of the implementation of this FRC was actually January 2022, barely 7 months. And I think it's clearer to people. But one thing I know is that people's interests are actually being drawn to this, understanding the fact that the finance is key to the survival of every business. Doctor, let me pick you on this. That how can the successful implementation of this audit regulation, which the implementation is just 7 months old, boosts the acceptance of Nigeria financial report in the global community. Considering the fact that the world is global village now, how can this be acceptable?
Okay, thanks. That's a very wonderful question, and I will ask you to give me actual some more time to dwell on it, because I think one of the problems we have is lack of understanding. When I started, I did mention that capital market thrives on credible financial reports, and credible financial report also thrives on effective, independent oversight body for the economy and for investment climate in Nigeria. I will tell you that capital flows where there is strong discipline. And you can only have strong discipline if you have an effective, independent oversight body with transparent, uh, unbiased, and objective regulation. So here in Nigeria, prior to the release of the Audit Regulation 2020, the international community did not see Nigeria as having an independent oversight body on audit regulation, simply because we hitherto did not do what we ought to have done by putting on the audit regulations. The council deliberately did not effect the provisions of Section 61 that entails inspection of audit firms because of lack of the audit regulation. Because we needed to spell out the methodology, the rules, the expectations before. Otherwise, it would be like ambushing the professionals. So it took us quite a while. Like I did mention, in October 2018, we looked at the big four audit firm. We looked at the small and medium practice. We looked at the regulatory bodies that have one thing or the other to do with audit. We also looked at the Attorney General, the office, the Federal Minister of Justice, and Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. We also went to the Auditor General for the Federation and requested the representatives. About 14 of them met severally and came up with this. So internationally, sir, there is this forum called International Forum of Independent Audit Regulators. Prior to this audit regulation, they never had anything to do with Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria and by extension, Nigeria. It is when this audit regulation came into being that IFIA extended their hand of fellowship. And what does IFIA do? IFIA gives confidence, comfort to their members that having satisfied the audit regulation processes of this division, that they can vouch for the auditing of the financial statements. Again, I want to let you know, because you brought a very critical issue. There is this regulation in the UK that has been in existence since 2006, amended continuously up to 2020. And that's what they call third country audit. Third country audit is a situation where an issuer outside in the UK that has an issue that is to have listed on the floor of exchange in UK, that they cannot accept their audited financial statements if such country does not have the independent audit regulatory oversight body. And it will shock you to know that UK comes to Nigeria, the UK FRC comes to Nigeria to inspect, review the audit processes, audit procedures of the firm that audit the accounts that are filed in the UK. And you know, we have some sizable number of companies in Nigeria that have dual listing.
Yeah.
With this, we have issues, and the little resources are being filtered away by capital flight. In the same process, sir, the same UK had what they call reciprocity in audit. Reciprocity means that any jurisdiction they have adjudged their auditing process to be of equivalent status with theirs, that they will not go to review their audit process, that they will accept the audited financial statement of such jurisdictions in the UK. It will surprise you to note that it's only two countries in Africa, and that is South Africa and Mauritius, because they have independent audit oversight body. So UK gives reciprocity level to South Africa, reciprocity level to Mauritius. They don't give to Nigeria. It is until we get this audit regulation effectively working that we will get to that level. We are answering the largest economy in Mouth. We are answering the largest population. But the little nitty-gritties we don't get because of this. So, in essence, sir, that's why I say you give me a little thought. In essence, it is so beneficial to the economy. It will boost investment. It will make sure that even the little capital flights are going away from these people coming to inspect our even the big four will no longer be there. And that is why I am so passionate about it and believe that we will hit the ground running and get all these things done. Thank you. I'm sorry for taking more time on the elaborating
No,
of
it
this.
it is highly expected, Dr. Ayara. The truth of it is the reason why the institute is putting this up is to create the awareness for our members to know the importance why this audit regulation must actually work. Just talking about the independent regulators you're talking about, to have confidence and the comfort of some of these the financials we're talking of, the third party audit, the reciprocity. As big as we are, if you are able to walk through this, which I believe my professional colleagues are listening to, definitely it will give a boost to our economy, and we can be ranked among the top-notch class in the world. Sulaiman is asking a question before I go to my own question, and he is saying, what is the council? Why is the council? Why have they not been auditing the small practice firm for compliance with the regulations and rule, and also the delay in the issuance of certificates for those that have registered with FRCN?
Thank you so much, Suleiman Ismail. Ismail, permit me in the language. Why hasn't the FRC started auditing small practice firms? Yes, we have not, because we want them to get thoroughly educated, get thoroughly enlightened, and get prepared for the eventuality. We wouldn't want to rush into auditing them, and tomorrow it is the same you that will be saying we want to kill the small and medium practices. One good thing about it is we are deliberately taking time to enlighten. We are deliberately taking time to make sure the structures are right, so that we'll reduce the number of contentious issues when when the audit oversight reaches the small and medium practices. Again,
okay.
We are talking with the professional accounting organizations to enter into MOU so as to feed some of these, like I said, collaboratively to the professional accounting organizations to be able. So we need to finalize the agreements, make sure that the procedures are clearly stated so that it will be transparent, so that it will be objective. Don't run away, we will be there, but be ready to receive the inspectors when they come. But that will give you opportunity to get your house together and be ready for us. On the second leg, saying sorry, please, since 2019 August, the Financial Reporting Council stopped issuing certificate of registration. We aligned with the digitization process. Once we stopped the biometrics, you can, in the comfort of your bedroom, do your registration, and you get email conveying your registration number. And that is what we need. We are not a professional accounting institution that will be bothering so much in issuing you certificates. So we look at how to reduce the cost and to make everything effective. So if by now you are still expecting certificate of registration, I think what the highest thing we want to do could be to make it so that you can print it online. We have jettisoned issuance of certificate to registration. So I apologize if you're not aware. We've been telling it's on our website. It's in every enlightenment program we do. We let people know about that. So don't expect certificate of registration from us. Thank you.
Very brilliant response to Ismail's question. The FRCN has hyped the game, digitalizing it, not to be left behind the scene. And to the other leg, I love the approach that you are not using sledgehammer to kill ordinary ants. You need to educate them, enlighten them on the things that they need to do, so that by the time the sledgehammer will be coming, the elephant would have grown to have understanding, so that the hammer will not have so much impact on it. Thank you very much, Dr. Hayara. I want to quickly pick on Olujide Ojo's question. He is asking, what is FRCN Act implication on government agencies to parastatals who does not file their annual audited financial statement to Financial Reporting Council?
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate this forum. A lot of pertinent issues are being brought up. Public sector is a very critical sector in the economy. In fact, the largest spender, in fact, the driver of the economy. So in that essence, the operators in public sectors are expected to be transparent, to be accountable by preparing their financial statements and submitting in line with the FROC Act. However, we hitherto, prior to the assumption of office of His Excellency Ambassador Shaibu Adamu Ahmed, we are not focusing more on public sector. We are more focused on private sector. But Ambassador Ahmed made a commitment of trying to ensure public sector accountability by letting their financial reporting accord with global practices. It was only then that we started moving our searchlight on public sector. And I tell you, since last year, we sent out about 600 requests to entities, and I'm telling you, it is very reassuring. Up to this moment, prior to what we used to have, we have considerable number of entities in the public sector that have submitted their 2021 financial statements. We are reviewing them. I will tell you the simple truth. It's not at the level we expect it to be. And again, since it is an area we are starting engaging newly, I think it will also be very, very wrong to start with sanction and penalty with them. What we put strategic engagement we have is to educate them on the areas they need to know because we reviewed their financial statements. We detected so many things that ought not to be there. So the council strategically mounted what we called learning and development exercise last year, three zones. And this year, we continued it with what we call timely rendition of financial statements. I tell you, we had close to 600 participants in the four zones, and the awareness is something else, and that also upped the submission level. So when we conclude in a matter of time all the sensitization, enlightenment, and education, we had already informed them that we are starting the sanction next time. And we are collaborating with National Assembly, especially the public accounts committees of both arms, in ensuring that we get the public sector to do the right thing. So I would want you to focus less on sanction and view the effort we are doing to get them do the things right. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I think what the FRCN is currently doing has to do with capacity building. When you build the capacity, then people have understanding of what to do. And thereafter, we can talk about sanction. I think FRCN is doing, wonderfully well. And I can give kudos to our institute, bringing more enlightenment to our members on the things that they need to know to move even the profession forward. I will be going on a very, very short break. And when I come back, I will continue to interrogate my teacher who has been doing justice even to the topic of today about audit regulation, what a professional accountant needs to know. And I believe that you have been tapping from the knowledge of our Dr. ICAN-ngr. A short while.
As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized CIMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a CIMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the CIMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study Exam. Start studying the CIMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact.
Jama, well done. Thank you.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. My professional colleagues. And on this episode of today, I've actually been guesting Dr. Ian Ayara, FCA, who have been doing justice to some of the things that we need to know about the audit regulation as a professional accountant. Welcome back, Dr. Ayara, my teacher.
Thank you very much, my uncle. You are now my teacher today.
You see, it's always the reverse. You've always been setting questions, but I think I'm in position to give the question to my teacher. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
let's move on. Yeah, there is this requirement for audit committee members to register with the Financial Reporting Council. Does it mean only accountants are recommended to be members of the audit committee?
Thank you very much. Again, this is a topical issue. I would want to dwell a little on the straightforward answer is no.
Okay.
There is no requirement anywhere that says only professional accountants should be there. I remember our engagement with um, Shareholders Association. Initially, when the audit regulation came, even the exposure draft, they were worried. But after they had engagement with us, they stated it openly that they have gotten clarification and they are satisfied. What the council requested and what the audit regulation is saying is that members of the audit committee are part of the process of financial reporting. This is a committee that approves or recommends external auditor. They look at all financial reporting issues, including internal audit, including this. And we are saying, since you are involved in financial reporting process, it is incumbent on you to register with the council. Nobody said that all of you must be. But again, for you to perform this technical, professional duty, wouldn't it be incumbent on you to be financially literate? The examples I used to give, would you get non-medical people to pretend over medical reporting process? The response absolutely would be no.
No.
So when people look at it, audit committee has a very, very peculiar responsibility amongst all other committees on the board and even statutory committees. And that is why, in a bid to create sanity, in a bid to get these things done, we requested that audit committee members should register so that when issues pertaining to financial reporting or financial statement fraud happens, we will be able to track and know where the issues are and be able to, instead of a blanket sanction. So that is the essence of it. It's not that they have to be this. However, remember that Kama had made even a rule, and both the NCCG 2018 and the audit regulation openly specified that the membership, at least they should be financial literate. So that is the extent we require, not being professional accountants. No.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I think that gives clarity to it. You have to be financially literate, and for you to be, it will definitely be advisable that you acquaint yourself with the basic knowledge of finance. While we are coasting home, let me just take this question with you. based on some of the so many alleged report of financial fraud in Nigeria. Doctor, to what extent do you think that integrity and credibility of Nigerian professional accountant has been dented or upheld?
A very difficult one. You're willing because of, okay, there are two sides to it. In my village, permit me to say, Ofunbi Shaka Rutaman, years on, when one finger dips his finger into oil, it will soil all other
All of
fingers.
that. Hmm.
So, especially as it relates to accounting, when there is one fraud, when there is, they generalize all accountants and all that. But I assure you that it has in no way significantly impaired the reputation. We have each profession having the black sheep here and there. That does not mean such profession should be completely written away. Again, that is the more reason why both the professional accounting organizations and the regulatory bodies should come together so that we can stem this issue of fraud. Whether it's financial statement fraud or any other fraud, especially, sir, when it involves a professional accountant, it doesn't
Hmm.
tell well on the profession, no
Hmm.
matter the side it is. So we should really come together, and that is why when Financial Reporting Council sees any breach in or non-compliance in any accounting standards, we usually frown over it. And if we go to the extent FRC UK or FRC, I mean PCOB America, I mean people will shout at the top of their voices, but it is all done to instill discipline. FRC
Hmm.
UK penalizes all these firms 14, 30 million pounds
Hmm.
for financial reporting fraudulent
Failure.
practices. And failure, thank you. And they contain it. Most importantly, the thing that gladdens my heart is most of the big firms that have been penalized in those jurisdictions, including South Africa. They never contested.
Hmm.
Instead, they will tell you they're collaborating because it is usually painstakingly taken. And what is it? Is to stem the profession from going under. And because financial statements is really very generic and it affects a lot of people. So I wouldn't subscribe that our profession we are doing the best. It is what the society is breeding that is making the accounting this thing look as if we are not getting our ass together. Thank you.
Of course, it's the understanding of the people about the profession. And like you said, situation where we can collaborate to make sure that together we push out the quacks, unprofessional people that are denting the integrity and accuracy of our profession, the better for us. Finally, my teacher, let me just say this, and this seems to be a personal thing that I will bring forth to you, sir, as a Nigerian and a professional accountant by excellence, which I can attest to. Among your so many achievements in life, what is your general and undiluted counsel or advice to the Nigerian professional accountant?
Um, Honestly, that is a simple straight issue: integrity. in all we are doing. Money is not all. We should be able to stand and defend the qualities of our profession. We should do things. Let me tell you, I tell people that audit profession is the only profession I know that when the clients hire them, they do not work to satisfy the clients because they work in public interest. If they work in public interest, they are therefore expected to be of high. And again, most importantly, sir, there's one common thing. Permit me, my colleagues, if I say this. Most times when we qualify, we read very hard to qualify. After qualifying, being a professional accountant, a chartered accountant, we abandon knowledge. We don't seek to update our knowledge. Most issues we have in audit is because of the level of technical competency of the audit partners. I will urge all of us that we should uphold, if not for anything, in any issue you are doing, you ask yourself, where would this take me to? I was discussing with a friend of mine. He said he did a life investment, and I acknowledge he did something, and somebody wanted to appreciate him. He refused. He said it is in the course of the work. See, tomorrow, that guy is being seen. If you see anybody you recommend, you say, he will do it without asking for anything. There's nothing more valuable. There's nothing. People like the fathers of our profession, we saw them as people of high integrity. When you call them, you say, please don't even go near them with anything bribe, anything this, anything that. They don't want their name to be stained. I think that is my take home. Auditors bring accountability and transparency. They bring reliability. But my brother, somebody who is not trustworthy, how can he bring reliability? How can he bring accountability to the issue? Let us please have a retrospect. Let us please have an inward assessment and go back to that era where accountants are highly respected and seen as people of high level of integrity. That would be my
What wonderful, wonderful. It's as if I should request for another 1 hour to continue to talk with our guest for today, Dr. Hiai FCA. He's a teacher per excellent, and I can tell you for free, give him 5 hours. He's dishing it out, dishing it out. But time is not always our friend. And on this note, we will be bringing to close the session for this Thursday, 7th day of the 7th month in the year 2022. And I have been discussing with Dr. FCA, who have done justice to things that has to do with audit regulation. But before I go, let me appreciate all our audience once again for being part of the program today. The things that you need to do as one of the parting shot from our guest today is to make sure that you breathe and you give integrity in all you do. Note, money, it's not everything. And everywhere you find yourself, make sure that you defend this profession. Seek knowledge always. Ignore those past things that you have learned. Bring in new ideas, inject it more. And I can assure you that we will build a better institute, we will build a better nation, and globally, we will satisfy humanity. Thank you very much for being part of this program. Today, I want to implore you, join me next week, Tuesday, as I bring to you another refreshing time on ICAN on air. Make sure that you tell someone that will tell someone about this program. I remain your anchor, Olusesan Okwade. See you next week, Tuesday. Bye for now.